I'd like to call the meeting to order at this time. If you would please rise. Councilman Steve Young will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord, thank you for blessing us with Mayor Julie Thatcher, who has spent, and for her time spent as mayor and as city council person in the past, and for her total devotion. Lord, also bless new elect Mayor Ned Beach, and for the newly formed city council tonight. Guide us to make the best possible decisions we can make for the city of Boonville and its citizens. Amen.
Thank you, Steve. Roll call.
Young.
Here.
Meadows. Here. Beach.
Here.
Hurt.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Venable.
Here.
Dorman. Here. Stock.
Here.
Hearing no citizens' comments, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment, we ask you to please come to the microphone and sign in and state your ward and your name. And 5 minutes to talk. This is your 5 minutes. Doesn't look like we have anybody tonight. Approval of the minutes of the April 2nd, 2018 council meeting. You have those in your packet, and hopefully you've read over them. And are there any additions or corrections or questions? Hearing none, they will stand as presented. Consent items, we have one. Consideration of a pay request number 2 from Brennan Jones Construction in the amount of $45,000 for soccer fields turf installment.
Mayor, make a motion this be approved.
Thank you, Morris. Do I hear a second?
Second.
That's Mike. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Young.
Yes.
Meadows. Yes. Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Dorman. Yes. Stock.
Yes.
Presentation of accounts and claims. You have the found at your place. You should have found a up-to-date account of the accounts and claims. So, Teresa, would you please share those?
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1. For the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on April the 10th, 2018, the sum of $201,418.01. General fund, $43,566.74. Sanitation, $1,481.15. CIP tax, $3,595.63. Waterworks, $23,423.44. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $46,667.37. Tourism, $8,496.51. Gaming, $28,819.67. Parks and Water, $45,367.50. Section 2. The accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $201,418.01, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on April 10th, 2018. Read for the second time this 10th day of April 2018, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, make a motion this be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Young.
Yes.
Meadows. Yes. Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Dorman. Yes. Stock.
Yes.
Unfinished business, we have none this evening. New business, item A. First and second reading of bill number 2018-012. Accepting. Oh. Now.
As As of just a few minutes ago, we hadn't received the quit claim
Yeah.
deed
Okay,
from W.R. Meadows. So I think the best action is to table this at least until next meeting. And then we'll see what I get from those guys.
okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Yes?
Make a motion, we table it until the next meeting.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Sorry. Roll call.
Young.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Now we move on to new business. First and second reading of bill number 2018-012. Oh, I'm sorry, that's been tabled. Okay, so we'll go on to B, first and second reading of bill number 2018-013, accepting the results of the April 3rd, 2018 Boonville municipal election.
An ordinance declaring the results of the municipal election held in Boonville, Missouri on April 3rd, 2018 regarding mayor and city council members. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1. It is hereby found and declared that the vote at the municipal election held in the City of Boonville, Missouri on April 3rd, 2018 for city council members, it states city attorney, that should be mayor. I'll make that correction on the final signed document. As certified by Keith Catlett, Cooper County Clerk, attached hereto as Exhibit A, is hereby accepted. First and second reading, April the 10th, 2018, read for the first and second time and passed this 10th day of April 2018 after a copy of this ordinance has been available for public inspection prior to its first and second reading, approved this 10th day of April 2018.
Second reading, title only.
An ordinance declaring the results of the municipal election held in Boonville, Missouri on April 3rd, 2018 regarding mayor and city council members.
Mayor, make a motion this be approved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Whitney. Any questions? Everyone caught the, it's not the city attorney, it's the mayor. So, any questions? Anyone want to challenge your numbers or anything? Okay. Roll call.
Young.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
I would call for a adjournment of this meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
I think it was Mike. Roll call.
Young.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
At this time, the swearing in of the new officials will take place by City Clerk Teresa Stubbs. So she can take over now. Thank you all very much.
Please stand in front of the table here at your respective places. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications prescribed
that I possess all the qualifications prescribed
for the office of which I have been elected by law,
for the office of which I have been elected by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state
the provisions of all laws of the state,
affecting cities of the third class,
affecting cities of the third class,
and the ordinances of said city,
and ordinances of said city,
and faithfully demean myself
faithfully demean myself
in the office of which I have been elected
in the office of which I have been elected
of the city of Boonville, Missouri.
of the city of Boonville, Missouri.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. 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 All right.
take a motion for Mayor Pro Tem.
You gotta call the meeting to order first.
Oh, the meeting is now called to order.
I would like to elect Morris Carter. Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Steve. That's your motion. right?
That's my motion.
Okay.
Second.
Mike, seconds. Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows. Yes. Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman. Yes. Stock.
Yes.
Reports of standing committees, none. City Administrator?
I have nothing to say.
Mayor, I have nothing to say. City Councilor?
I do have some things. Thank you very much, Mayor. Congratulations. Just wanted to do a quick primer on the Sunshine Law. You all just were sworn in again. This side, part of the oath that you took was to uphold the laws affecting third-class cities, even if you don't like them. So I offer Exhibit A, the Missouri Sunshine Law. I have tabbed out some portions that I just want to highlight. It's been an extraordinary several weeks at City Hall. There's been a lot of in and out. There's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of meetings of various people coming in, unannounced, shades drawn, doors closed, in some instances locked. So I thought it might be a good time to revisit the Sunshine Law as it relates to open government, and particularly to highlight some provisions that will affect what I am told you are doing tonight, which is having the second of 2 closed sessions regarding lawsuits, causes of action, legal matters, etc., and personnel. So I've also been told you're not going to have a lawyer present during the closed session pursuant to subsection 1 regarding legal action. So I wonder how that's going to happen, but I'll leave that to your sound discretion. Tab number 1, if you will turn to page 6 in your Sunshine Law book, section 610.011, liberal construction of the law is to be public policy. This is foundational to the Sunshine Law and all the provisions of it. It sets forth that it is the public policy of this state that meetings, records, votes, actions, and deliberations of public governmental bodies be open to the public unless otherwise provided by law. Section 610.010 to 610.200 shall be liberally construed and their exceptions strictly construed to promote this public policy. So in short, there is the policy is for openness, and to the extent you are allowed to closed meetings, records, etc., those exceptions are to be very narrowly construed in favor of openness of government. That is your first charge, and should govern your behavior in all circumstances, and particularly as it relates to meetings of the council. Second tab, these are the provisions that allow this body to go into closed meetings and allows this body to close records of the city of Boonville. I note that you are closing tonight under subsection 1, legal actions, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body, and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys. Again, you will not have an attorney present tonight, so it's unclear to this attorney how you're going to have confidential communications between this public governmental body and your attorney as it relates to the Sunshine Law, your ability to close records, votes, documents, etc. Also, I noted on the closed session agenda or closed session notice that was published, it's also closed under subsection 3. You'll see that I have underlined some of the more important features of this provision. Talks about you may close records and votes pertaining to the hiring, firing, discipline, or promoting of particular employees. This is the same provision under which you closed the meeting 2 weeks ago. So knowing that I was not allowed to be present, I assumed that since I was probably not going to be hired or promoted, that it pertained to discipline or firing. So I wasn't even sure I was going to make it back to this meeting, so good to see you all again. But reading on down, it says, however, any vote on a final decision when taken by a public governmental body to hire, fire, promote, or discipline an employee of a public governmental body shall be made available with a record of how each member voted to the public within 72 hours of the close of the meeting where such action occurs. So even though you can take a vote in closed session, your how you voted and the action taken has to be made public and available in 72 hours. I would also note that this hiring, firing, disciplining, promoting is, again, we talked about the exceptions being narrowly tailored to protect the public interest in open government. That's for the protection of the employee. Personnel records, data related to a person's performance, those are the things that are supposed to be protected from public view. And last time there was some question about who could be in the closed session. Mr. Bozarth wasn't yet even a member of this body, and yet there was some discussion about whether or not he should stay. So you need to be careful when you're doing things in closed session under that provision, because like I said, it is for the protection of the employee and that employee's records. It's not just a general purpose, let's talk about performance issues if that's appropriate. Okay, and finally, the third tab, page 13, talks about closed meetings, procedures, and limitations. There are limitations to closed meetings and closed records. 610.022, subsection 3, the last full paragraph. Actually, I'll read the whole paragraph because it's all relevant, I think, particularly as it pertains to the closed session this evening. Any meeting or vote closed shall be closed only to the extent necessary for the specific reason announced to justify the closed meeting or vote. Public governmental bodies shall not discuss any business in a closed meeting, record, or vote which does not directly relate to the specific reason announced to justify the closed meeting or vote. Public governmental bodies holding a closed meeting shall close only an existing portion of the meeting facility necessary to house the members of the public governmental body in the closed session, allowing members of the public to remain to attend any subsequent open session held by the public governmental body following the closed session. So in other words, the facility is supposed to be closed to allow the privacy or the closure of any portion of the meeting that you deem appropriate for any of the reasons set forth in subsection .021. However, you're supposed to allow some area for the public to remain, especially if they want to come back for the open session, which was my intent last time. I thought since it was hiring, firing, disciplining, and promoting, there may be some legitimate reason for you all to want to hear from me under those circumstances, so I attempted to try and stay around. Mr. Bozarth was seated in the front. I was ushered completely out of the building and told that I was not allowed to stay, even though it's rude and a violation of the Sunshine Law. So just wanted to bring that to your attention as it may relate to tonight's proceedings. And then finally, on page 14, 610.023, records of governmental bodies to be in the care and custodian duties of the custodian, etc. I just want to point out that it has come to my attention very painfully so that I have somehow gotten crossways with the economic development director, who is not in my chain of command. I don't report to him. He's a grant-funded employee, not even an employee of the city of Boonville. He's a grant-funded That's a grant-funded position through the University of Missouri that employs him. So I asked, after mention was made at a couple of successive meetings, one in front of CMMG and one in front of this body, that there were some quote-unquote terrible emails or defamatory emails out there in the ethos, and that prompted a lot of these closed-door, closed-shade meetings that I wasn't a part of. And so I made a sunshine law request, because I figured, you know, if I wasn't going to be able to access these communications in any other way, I would just make a sunshine law request. So 3 days passed, I got the records. One of them, there were several emails back and forth. Among them, I was able to glean that the Economic Development Director was displeased with some of the advice that I had given to the city of Boonville. So that was sort of the part of, I guess, the defaming emails. So I made another request on the 27th of March for another round of these emails, because I was told by Dr. Gann that there were more emails and that that he wouldn't share them with me, so I made the sunshine law request. That sunshine law request went to him. It was forwarded to Ms. Waldman, who is the city's outside counsel with respect to employment, and I still haven't seen him. So this part of the sunshine law that talks about, on this last tab, talks about requests shall be acted upon as soon as possible, but in no event later than the end of the third business day. We've blown completely by the third business day, and if access to the public record is not granted immediately, the custodian, who apparently is now Jill Waldman in Kansas City, the custodian shall give a detailed explanation of the cause for further delay. I got no explanation. I got no records. I don't know what is in these emails. If they're talked about this evening, I haven't seen them, although I have made a request. Just because the Economic Development Director, or really anybody else that works with the city, doesn't like the advice that I give, doesn't like the things that I say, the interpretations of the law that I give, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wrong. As a case in point, I would offer the Boonville Daily News from over the weekend that talks about the Municipal Facilities Association has decided to hang up its revolving loan program, at least for the time being, because it's come to their attention, because I said so several weeks ago, that they may not have the authority that they think they have with respect to receiving public money and giving it out in economic development loans to other private organizations. So again, it's a complicated story. There are a lot of moving parts, but I just would ask, as you go into closed session tonight under subsections 1 and 3, that you keep in mind you don't have legal counsel, so I don't know how you're going to have conversations that are privileged under that provision. Number 2, I am ready, willing, and able to answer any questions you may have regarding hiring, firing, discipline, or promoting, and I will go into any details you want regarding what you've heard or what's been explained to you. I was just told this afternoon that I am not going to be allowed to be a part of the closed session, so I guess I will take my leave when you go into that session, but I would caution you that those exceptions are very narrowly tailored. The employment part is for my protection, not yours, and that you should err on the side of public view for all of these deliberations, votes, and discussions. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? No. Motion to go into closed session.
Mayor, I make a motion that we go in closed session in reference to RSMO 610.02, legal and personnel.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Susan. All in favor? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Bozarth,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.